What we have today is two cameras actually. Like you know from the topic of this video, there will be a ColorVu cameras. The first one is a small tiny turbo camera. It's really tiny. Tiny camera with the LED light on the bottom. It's a ColorVu, so it doesn't have any IR. So it will work 24/7 like a daytime camera. The only thing is it's always going to show you the color. Like also we have this bigger brother or sister IP camera, also ColorVu camera. All the model numbers will be in the description of this video later on, but you can see this camera is slightly bigger, just to compare to both of them. Both have they both have the LED light on the bottom of the camera, so during the night time you can turn on and off this light. You can turn on that light automatically if you like. On this camera, on the turbo camera, you can actually trigger the motion detection or line cross intrusion detection to trigger the LED light to start flashing if you like. With this camera you can automatically set up the schedule for when the LED light will be on or off. You can set the parameters when automatically it's going to trigger, if it's going to get darker. Just like with typical IR lights, it will flicker and start flashing there for you as well. The other stuff you have here, it's like 2 megapixel camera. These are 4 megapixel. You can get them in 2 megapixel as well. Has the SD card on the top of it if you like to store it locally. Obviously it's a PoE, so very powerful camera. I'm just going to show you where to what to change and what you can change within the settings of the camera, both cameras. Both cameras, when you look at the video or the pictures I'm going to show you in a second, they look amazing compared to just a regular camera. When you have that type of the camera in the day mode, or even if the night mode is on, there's they can't compare. Like, they're totally different. The picture is nice and crisp, and you can see everything in details. Usually with the IRs on, you only have like a spot of light showing you within the live view of the picture. With this camera, it's really something to show you the color view all the way. So it would be enough just to have like a, you know, the moon light or the starlight sometimes, and that will be enough for this camera to actually pick it up enough light to change it in color. So let me show you the few examples of the camera. So let me go ahead and show you the first slide. The first slide is actually just like you see here. On the left hand side you have the conventional camera with the IRs on. On the right hand side there's a camera with the ColorVu. So you can see the huge difference between these two. Like, it's totally different. You can actually see who is in all the colors. You can tell if the person, you know, what person is actually wearing what kind of shirt or whatever they have. If you go to the slide number 2, it's actually from our warehouse in the Fortis. On the left hand side, the first one here, it's the camera with the LED on, and like you see here, it's all nice and colored. There's no really lights on this road. Like you see here on the bottom of the page, you see the same the camera just beside it really, with IRs on, and like I said, it's only going to be like a spotlight. You won't see anything farther away what is going on with that type of the camera. And again, with the LED off, you can still see it nice and bright. But LED on, it's really beneficial for this camera. So any kind of light, the street lights outside the house, it would be really great add-on to this camera. That brings up the brightness a little bit more. So you can see here, this is the first one, 2 megapixel picture. It's a turbo picture and turbo camera with the ColorVu image. The one on the right is the camera. It's a 4 megapixel, and you see it's not as crisp and sharp as the other one, even the turbo camera. And this is the actually AccuSense, just a simple day mode of the AccuSense camera without IRs or anything on. And like you see, this picture is much more blurry than the even the 2 megapixel camera. And then below that there's a 4 megapixel camera that will actually show you the exact detail of everything what is going on there. And you can't really tell, like, all right, between two cameras, 2 megapixel and 4 megapixel, you can see the ColorVu cameras are much better quality than just the ordinary camera with the day mode on. So you can compare them. Like if someone would be walking down the street there now, they would be totally blurry. With the ColorVu camera, you can actually see people walking down in front of it. You can see their faces, no problem. Let me show you the actual turbo camera and what you can change now. So when you go to the turbo camera and log it in, you see this is this is actually the IP. This is the turbo camera now, the turbo recorder more likely. So if you like to change any settings of the turbo camera, you can obviously get to the camera page itself. So you can go to the on-screen display of the camera. You just need to go with the iris plus or minus. Just going to change it to a higher quality. Here you go. Like you see here, this is a 2 megapixel camera. You can go to video exposure. You can go to all the smart lighting in here, and you go iris plus to enter and change the settings. So you can set the auto, so the LED light will turn on automatically when it's getting darker. During the night, during the daytime, you don't need that LED light. Or even if if there's sufficient light on the road, you can switch that off completely. And you have few different options and sensitivity and a threshold, how soon that light will trigger and will turn on if you like. So you can change the settings here for the threshold, and also for the level of the light, how strong it will be the light itself. Back to the previous page, you have the exposure time. You can play with exposure time. Obviously with the wide dynamic range during the night time, it's going to be even brighter than you see it on the screen. So if you like to trigger the camera to start flashing the LED light, it's enough just to go to the configuration of your recorder, of your turbo recorder, and go to the events. And for example, motion detection. You can just go with the motion detection. The latest IDS recorder, it's allowing you to actually draw the zone. So you can go ahead and draw the zone you like, and just save it. And then in the linkage method and the linkage action, you can select the camera to start flashing when there's a motion detection been triggered. So simple as that. If you don't want to have a light on all the time, you can just trigger that light when you need, when someone is actually on the front of the camera. So that's one turbo camera. It's really simple options that you can change and amend of this camera. If you go to the IP camera itself, so this is our ColorVu camera. You can see this external device, it's called, and you can turn on and off the LED light on this camera. You can manually adjust the brightness, or you can leave it automatically if you like. You can also set the LED on to turn on automatically in the case of if you like to get the schedule. So for example, you want to have the camera to turn on the LED at 6 p.m. and turn off at 6 a.m. if you need to, and that will exactly trigger the camera LED light. Like the camera itself, you see it's really straightforward. It's like any other IP camera you come across. You have all those smart features as well. You have the intrusion detection, you have the line crossing. In this particular camera, you also have the face detection. So together with the IDS recorder, you can detect the face, start a database with all the faces been detected. So really small, tiny camera that you might come across, and many people installing those cameras recently all over the place, and they're really happy about them, especially during the nighttime. Obviously, that's where you get the most of this type of the camera, when the actual picture it's in full color. So just a quick show you here now. It's totally different type of the camera right now. So like this is the blur picture of the regular camera. It's totally different to what you see on the same 4 megapixel but the ColorVu. It's much more crystal clear. You can see exactly all the details, whoever is walking there. if someone's going to come into the premises, and if you have the ordinary IR camera, you only see the black and white. You can see only on the monochrome, so it would be quite difficult to determine if that person's wearing the red shirt or maybe blue or yellow, whatever. With that type of the camera, it can tell you exactly what they're wearing and what they look like. So it's really cool piece of equipment. And if you look for any of the cameras like this, contact our sales department and they will have some cameras for you, all right, with a great discount. Also, if you have any questions regarding the camera itself, how to set it up, or like you see here, it's really straightforward. It's just an ordinary camera, but it's in a ColorVu. So if you're looking for any technical queries, contact our technical department. We are ready there to help. Thank you very much again. Stay awesome as always, and I'll talk to you. Take care. Bye.